thing that I don't hear in many success stories is about the people, the family members, the husband, the wives, the boyfriends, girlfriends, the friends that you have to leave behind in order to become your full potential. Like, nobody be talking about this stuff. Y'all seen in the other video when I talked about going from 80K a year to literally $100,000 every month and building a 7-figure business in a span of 3.5 years. There's been some hard choices. Some hard choices that I've had to make when it comes down to walking away from certain people and splitting off from certain people. And one of the first choices I've had to make is divorcing, leaving my husband. I had to come to the acceptance and the realization that he simply was not a person that had the abundant mindset, expansive mindset that could actually grow with me. And I just knew that I was going to be holding myself back, attempting to stay in that marriage, as well as I knew that it was going to be causing him distress as well. Because the thing is, when you're unequally yoked with somebody and you have to play small to keep them comfortable, and they have to pretend to play big to keep you comfortable, both of y'all are being inauthentic to who you truly are. And it doesn't mean that you're bad or good or he's bad or good. It's misalignment. Y'all don't have the same vision. Y'all don't have the same way y'all look at life and operate in life. Y'all don't, and therefore you're not going to have the same actions of what you do in life and how you go about life. I remember asking him, because I wanted him to start up his own separate business as well. And I said, hey, I'm saving up money and putting all my money, my extra money towards my business. Can you save up like $250 to $500 a month to put towards your business? He was like, well, I don't know if we can do all that. And why are you putting all that money towards your business? And I was like, well, I usually spend it on shopping and stuff, but I'm focused on the business. I think it can grow. So that's where I'm going to put mine. Where, what you going to do with yours? So he was like, well, I don't know if I'm able to put all that towards a business, but I'll see. A week later, I see a Tom Ford suit coming to the house. And I'm saying like Gucci shoes and stuff. Like, you obviously got money that you can spend on stuff, but you're not investing into business. And I had to come to a hard realization that, Jessica, you're the business person. He's not the business person. Stop trying to make him into somebody that you want him to be. Accept him for who he is. And the fact is, he's not that. He's a person who's okay working a regular job, not doing anything extra outside of that, and retiring from that job one day. And that is not necessarily bad, but I also had to realize that he does not support you investing into your business. And he's not even necessarily neutral towards it. He's actually getting more envious and more insecure the better your business get, the better you get. Because at that time I had started exercising and taking care of myself and dressing back up, and I was looking good. So it was like the better I got, the more insecure and the more envious, like literally envious, he became of me. And I just had to realize, like, this is no longer a good fit. This is no longer a good fit because who we truly are is clashing. It's not compatible. We met when we were really young and we were good together, but when we started really maturing and really figuring out who we were and what we wanted in life, our visions were no longer the same. I wanted much more. I knew I could get much more. And with him, he was okay playing it safe. And I realized throughout that entire relationship, I was the one that was always like pulling and pushing and like energetically wrestling with him to have faith that we could have so many great things. Even down to his first job that he got. He didn't think he could get a job making, at that time it was like 60K. He didn't think he could get a job making 60K. And I was like, because he was like, I'm fresh out of college. Ain't nobody going to give me 60K out of college. And I was like, well, at least you can apply. Like, you meet all the criteria they have in there. You've had internships. The minimum you could do is apply. And he was like, no, I'm not going to apply. I applied for the job for him. And he ended up getting the job. And literally it jumped from 60K to like $70K within like 2 weeks of him being there, because it was like a union upgrade increase. And when it came down to even the house, we was energetically wrestling with that, because he was like, well, no, we just need to, we doing too much, we trying to do too much. Me, I knew what I want. I had seen the vision of the house in my mind, and I knew, no, we gonna find the perfect house, and it's gonna work out for both of us. It's gonna be affordable. The utilities are gonna be affordable. It's gonna be beautiful. And y'all, the house that we had, like, I got so many like miracle stories, but the house that we had, one, it was the exact vision I had seen in my mind a year before we even found the house. Number two, we had a 2% interest rate. 2%. No PMI, no down payment. No PMI, no down payment. Our mortgage for a 5-bedroom, beautiful house built in, I think it was built in 2012, was literally $2,100 a month. I spend more now for this 1-bedroom apartment than what we were spending for our mortgage in that house. Taxes and HOA included was $2,100. So even that story about the house, just crazy, right? But it just seemed like every time I wanted more out of life, and I knew we could get it, and I knew we could get it like at a good price and a good deal. Because my thing is, I'm not into living beyond my means, overextending. Me, if we gonna get anything, not only are we gonna be able to afford it with no issue, but it can be the best of the best. That's just how I believe. That's how life has always worked out for me. I've never had to overextend or live beyond my means to live the best life. So it's just like with everything, it was a push. He just wasn't a man of faith. He wasn't a man of real faith. He wasn't a man that believed that he could have great things. And that's okay. Everybody is not that way. Some people are okay living it safe, playing it small. You know, me, I don't play it safe. I don't play it small. I play it God. I play it faith. I play it, I'm here to live and live more abundantly. And I just had to come to the realization, because we had kind of been going back and forth. This is probably the only time that we would have like disagreements and like these little, I wouldn't say arguments, because we didn't really argue with each other, but we would have like these, kind of heated talks. Was when it was about business. It was about, hey, what are we doing to have multiple streams of income? And it was always me trying to like convince him, and hey, have you did your task yet? Have you done this? And we had been doing that for like 4 years at that time. And I just wasn't really seeing progress on his side. And that's when I had to come to the realization that you're trying to change him into somebody he's not. And that's not for you to do. You are out of alignment yourself, trying to force somebody else into something that you want them to be. If you really love somebody, you accept them for who they are. And you take a clear view of the situation, and you do what's best for both of y'all. And what was best for both of us was to dissolve that marriage, because we had came to the end of the road where we were no longer on the same path. When we first met, we were very compatible. We had the same vision. As we continued to evolve, we both had different ideals of what it was going to be. And that doesn't make anybody bad or good or whatever else. It just means we have two different ways of seeing life. And I knew if we continued in that relationship, I was going to have to continue to play small. He was going to have to continue to play big. We both were going to be being inauthentic to who we were. And it was going to cause destruction. And that's what happens when you stay in situations, places, and things longer than you're supposed to. I know this world tries to convince us via religion that, oh, once you get married, you're supposed to stay there forever, regardless of what happened. Oh, well, your family, you're supposed to forgive them and keep dealing with them, regardless of how toxic and abusive they are. Nah, that's traps, baby. Those are traps. Anything you have to forfeit your destiny and your power for, anything that you have to literally sacrifice yourself for, to the point of detriment, taking you off your path. Nah, that's not alignment, baby. That's prison. That's a trap. So I had to let him go. Love him dearly. He was a good husband for the most part, but we just was not compatible. And I wasn't going to deal with somebody that was envious, nor jealous of me. Can't do it. To me, that's a broken trust. And I can't, if we have no trust, we ain't got nothing. I can't sleep next to a man that's envious of me, baby. That, honey, those type of people will harm you. So I had to let him go because it was the best thing to do for me and him. And I'm going to tell you, I know for a fact I would never be where I'm at in life now, having this 7-figure business, making $100,000 a month, and literally having my free time. I'm not even working hard. I have cultivated a soft life for myself as of 2024. I would never have been able to create this with him because he just wasn't the type of person to believe in this type of life. And I would have been wrestling. And I'm going to tell you, as long as you're wrestling with somebody and trying to pull them along, you're slowing yourself down, if not completely stagnating yourself, depending on how stubborn they are. No, baby. Release. Stop trying to force people. You walk your path, and the people who are for you will meet you on the path and will be moving in the same direction that you're moving. So hopefully that helps somebody. I hope he's doing well in life. I'm doing well in life. We have to realize that true success in relationships is not about how long you're in it. It's about the quality of the relationship, and it's about, are you and that person growing in the correct direction? Are y'all growing and evolving as people? Are y'all in alignment with your destiny and your soul purpose? If a relationship ends and you and that person leave the relationship better than you started in the relationship, that relationship is a success. Too many people allow relationships to go past the expiration date to the point of disrespect and destroying each other and themselves. And that's why they leave the relationships worse off than when they started. Because they wasn't able to discern that the time was up and that the milk had expired, and what you needed to learn with that person for the time being is done. The lesson is done. The journey with that person has come to an end. It's time to leave. It's time to leave, and you can leave with love and respect and honor, thanking that person for what they brought to your life in that time, knowing that, hey, I don't hate you. I don't have any malintent or resentment. We just are no longer on the same path. But I bless you in your walk forward.